Hi everybody, welcome to the latest video from Lady Boss HR. As you can see, I'm not a lady. I'm standing in for Victoria today. My name is Colin Jones and I am the Health and Safety Consultant for High Performance Consultancy. I'd like to talk to you today about the ongoing problems that we're having with businesses with COVID. Okay, in this video then, I'd like to talk about the current government guidelines in the Plan B following the restrictions with the Omicron variant coming into play. Remind you that the HSE are still out and about carrying out spot checks in businesses, ensuring that you are COVID safe and that you've done all the relevant measures to ensure that you're carrying on the safe practices, and looking at what any additional measures that you may need to help you with your business to get you through this current situation. Okay, in the recent announcement, the Prime Minister said that the intention is for us all to ride out the current problems that we're facing at this moment in time. But it doesn't take away the fact that the positive results that people are getting is having a massive impact on business and causing a lot of disruption. So we need, with regards to isolation and things like that, so we need to make sure that as a business we're doing everything we possibly can to ensure that we're maintaining a COVID safe environment, and to make sure that when we're considering our visitors and our clients and everything that we do. So we're going to look at the impact that that's having, but also looking at you as a business in terms of, have you revisited your COVID risk assessment since you've come back from the Christmas break? Do you need to review that? And what are additional measures that you need to put into place? As I mentioned, the Health and Safety Executive are still out and about, and they're still carrying out inspections of organisations to make sure they're operating COVID safe, with a huge emphasis on making sure that the workplaces are properly ventilated. I'm speaking to my clients that I work with. They're finding this a bit of a challenge at the moment because, one, they could be working in an environment that doesn't lend itself to actually having windows open. So then they have to look at more mechanical methods of ventilating air within the workplace. And then you've got the added problem of those who do have windows open, but then they have the staff complain that it's too cold. So it's, especially in this winter time, it's having that balance of temperature control, but also making sure ventilation is adequate, and that that's part of your control measures of COVID. Okay, one of those measures that I talked about was obviously revisiting your risk assessment. Every workplace is expected to have carried out a COVID risk assessment. And as I said, before the Christmas break and now returning to work, it may be appropriate to revisit that to make sure that it is still fit for purpose and it is reflective of the current guidelines that the government have laid out. And most importantly, that you've communicated that with all the staff, especially if those staff that you have are now some working from home, because part of those new guidelines are work from home if you can. And I know that this is another issue which some businesses are finding quite difficult to manage as well at this moment in time. Yeah, as I mentioned, working from home if you can, and a lot of businesses have embraced this and have said that it's fine for those who can work from home can. Those obviously whose job role means that they aren't able to work from home, it does pose those new challenges. But I think it's something bearing in mind that those people working from home again, it does add or does bring into play again the issues during the lockdowns of staff mental health. And I think it's something that you need to bear in mind, that people working from home for a prolonged period of time, it does cause that disruption in the home. It does mean that staff are working extra hours, so you might need to look at that in terms of saying, okay, how are we making sure that they are working adequately, that it's not disrupting their home life, and they are still able to work effectively and still be able to do their role that they're expected to do. Okay, so as a business then, as I said, we have to make sure that we're doing everything we can, and it's an ever moving beast, this. So my recommendation to everybody is to make sure that they keep on top of the current government guidelines. It seems to be changing every minute in the media, but I think it's important that you're doing everything you possibly can. The HSC have issued new guidelines regarding controlling of COVID in the workplace, and if you have an opportunity of getting onto their website, I would highly recommend that you do. But as a minimum, I would suggest that you make sure and you remind staff that they are to hand sanitize as regularly as possible, maintain social distancing as much as they can, minimize movement within the workplace as much as you possibly can, and make those arrangements. In addition to that, I would also recommend that you introduce some testing within the workplace. I think it's becoming more and more important now that people take tests more regularly, and that can be monitored to make sure that you are doing everything you can to ensure the spread is kept to a minimum. And I'd also say, as much as it's a contentious issue, try and encourage people to get that vaccination, because as the World Organization has said, the World Health Organization has said, the greatest protection we can take is by everybody being vaccinated. And I know this is a contentious issue, but at the same time, it is something that we all need to factor in and consider. So with all this going on, 2022 seems to be an addition to 2021 in terms of COVID and what we have to do. COVID isn't going to go away, and we have to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can on an ongoing basis to make sure we're keeping a safe working environment, and we're doing everything we can to ensure our staff are safe and we have considered their well-being. So I would just like to say, good luck, stay safe, and let's hope we can get through 2022 in a healthy way. Thank you.